Hello guys, and welcome back for another edition in this Formula A Project Cars career of mine. We are in the third race here. We are headed to China this time, and I believe the track is called Zhuhai or something like that. Never raced here before. This is going to be a first for me, so I am really looking forward to seeing how we are going to be faring here today. By the looks of it here, after I've run a few training laps here just to get a feel for the track and set up the car properly, doesn't seem like there's all that many overtaking possibilities here, but then again, sometimes things actually turn out to be completely different once you actually have cars on the track rather than when you're just driving around by your lonesome there. Anyway, jumping straight to the task at hand here, this is going to be our first lap in qualifying here, and as you can see there, we are having a whale of a time actually getting some heat into the tires here, and we've been having similar problems here throughout this season here in Formula A, and I'm not really sure whether it's down to that 2.5 PC patch there, or whether or not it's just a Formula A thing. Either way, it really doesn't seem to bother us that much, as we've actually managed to squeeze into a provisional pole here, but I still feel it should be possible to shave off a few tenths of that time there. So we go out for another lap here, but unfortunately in the last turn there, we run wide a little bit, and that particular lap ends up being invalidated here. So we stay out, see if we can't put in another lap here, but coming into the right-hander here, we lose the back end of the car, and that's pretty much it for our qualifying session here today. But we managed a third place here, not too bad considering this track is entirely new to me, so I guess starting third on the grid for tomorrow's race, pretty happy with this one. So anyway, here we are getting ready for the start here at Zhuhai, and just look at the weather here. Complete thunderstorm carnage going on, and driving in the rain, not my favorite thing to do. This is going to be a tough one here. Loads of wheel spin here coming out of the gate. We lose all kinds of positions. We are way down in P5 or 6 here as we head into the first turn, and we can't see a freaking thing here. It's all going to be driving on instinct here, and this is a new track to me. Oh my god, this is going to be a tough one here. I can't see a thing. Somehow managing to survive the first couple of corners here, running a little wide into the left-hander here. We actually managed to make up a position as we are now into P4, chasing down Christian Borgens, who is right ahead of us here, trying to dive down the inside of him here, coming up into the right-hander where we lost the car during qualifying. We actually make that move stick there as we are into P3, way above any expectations I might have had there when I saw the weather change. Anyway, trying to chase down Alan F here, currently in P2. I'm not really sure who's leading the race right now. We come down this sort of back straight here as we head into a very sharp hairpin-like right-hander here, and we basically trying to outbrake Alan F here coming into the turn there. We have the inside line, a little bit of bumping wheels here on the exit. This is going to be a drag race. Who's going to come away with P2 here? It actually looks like we are going to be coming away with P2 as we come out on the main straight here, but no, Alan F going down the outside of us there a little later on the brakes than we dare to be in this kind of weather here, but we seem to have the pace on the main straight here as we go down the inside of Alan F here as we cross the line for lap 2. We make the move stick, and we are into P2 here, going into the right-hander, all about defending here. And once again here, if staying on track wasn't difficult enough, not being able to see a darn thing either definitely doesn't make things easier. Jumping ahead to lap 3 here, we are still keeping pace with current race leader, who is Anthony Lowe. Also, we have Alan F directly behind us, less than a second behind us, in fact, here. And coming back out on the main straight here, for some odd reason, it does appear that we have the upper hand on the AI here on the straight. We're going to see if we can use that to our advantage here, coming down the slipstream here, going down the inside there of Anthony Lowe into the right-hander there, which is turn 1 there. A little bit of contact there. He has to slam on the brakes, but we make that move stick, and we are into P1 here on lap 4. I'm not really sure I believe this. And I feel I should mention that once we saw that we were going to have some pretty hefty rain coming here, we went into the car setup menu there and changed the setup of the car quite radically. And what we did basically was decrease the pressure in all four tires really by quite a margin there, and also went in and changed all of the spring settings from which was a rather stiff and rather difficult car to drive, very fast but also very unforgiving. This is turned into some sort of, well, basically it's jello on wheels really. I wouldn't treat anyone to a drive in this car because I'd fear they'd be getting car sick all over the place, but it seems to be working here so far. And as you can see, we are skipping right ahead to lap 10 here. We have a pretty decent gap down to Anthony Lowe in P2. He is almost 8 seconds behind us here, well above anything I might have imagined we might pull out of this track so far. Jumping ahead to lap 14 here, we have track conditions improving just a little bit here. It appears that the rain is starting to ease off a little bit, and as you can see, Anthony Lowe is actually chewing away at our lead right now. So the question is, are the track conditions going to improve enough for us to actually go in and make a switch to the dry tire before the race is over? And if that happens, how are we going to be faring with the car setup that we're running at the moment? Skipping right ahead to lap 22 here, the track conditions have improved greatly here. We're almost on a fully dry track at the moment here. As you can see, our rear tires there are basically lighting up like a Christmas tree here, and we are really losing pace because of it. Anthony Lowe has pretty much closed the gap on us entirely, and on lap 22, the time has come to make the switch to the slick compound. And as per usual, as we are in the pits here, we are losing all kinds of positions here. It really hurts to see. I expect the AI to come in and make the switch for the dry tire as well at some point here, but for some odd reason, they always seem to be out there on their wet tires for much longer than they really have to. And also, they don't seem to be bothered by it in any way. They seem to be, keeping pace and are not really skidding anywhere all over the place like you would expect us to do the second our tires start to overheat. We lose any grip we might have. Anyway, we are currently running in P19 here, trying to catch Kenneth Murray, who is in P18, and right behind us there we have Bert Nienhuis, who we've been tangling with before. I believe it was at Dubai Autodrome, I believe it was here. And coming into the right-hander, Bert's getting a little frisky here, trying to go down the inside of us. We go in to close him off. I believe we had the line there, but Bert doesn't seem to mind one damn bit as he gives us a tap from behind there as we are off track and now way down into P21 here, trying to fend off Laszlo Illies here, coming through the left-hander, and wouldn't you know it, we actually managed to lose that position as well. And I'm not really sure whether or not our tires are completely ready for the track conditions here. It would seem we are missing something here. Trying to outbrake Laszlo here, coming into the right-hander, we almost end up losing the car completely, and I guess the prudent thing to do here would probably be just to take it easy, get the tires up to temperature, and hang back a little, wait for the AI cars to come in and make their pit stops here, and then make up any positions we might be able to here. And jumping to lap 28 here, only 7 laps remaining of the race here. I'm actually starting to wonder whether or not the AI cars are going to come in and make a pit stop. But as you can see there, we actually have several cars in the pits here on this lap, and it'll be interesting to see just what kind of positions we're going to be making up here. Jumping ahead to lap 29 here, still trying to chase down Laszlo here as we come through the right-hander where he bumped us off track here earlier in the race. He runs wide a little bit. We take full advantage of that. Managed to take a defensive line here into the left-hander, closing the door effectively, no problem there, as we are into P17 here with 6 laps remaining in the race. And again, the car just wobbling all over the place there due to the spring settings that we had to change before the race here. Coming out on the main straight, we have a ton of cars in the pits here on lap 30, and we're going to be making up all kinds of positions here. We have Christian Borgens, I believe it was, coming right out of the pits there as we are currently running in P10. And jumping ahead to lap 31 here, additional cars are in the pits at the moment here. We make up additional positions as we are currently up into P4, trying to chase down the P3 car, Frank Lantern. skipping right ahead to lap 33 here. Only 2 laps remaining in the race. If we are going to be making any sort of challenge for the podium, it is pretty much going to have to be right now. And wouldn't you know it, Frank Landrin running wide here as Laszlo Illies did a couple of laps ago, and it appears that the AI are having problems with this particular turn when you put them under pressure, but we don't seem to mind about that. We take full advantage of it as we are currently on the podium running in P3. Coming out on the short back straight here, we have Frank Landrin trying to go down the outside of us there, pulling out all the stops to regain P3 here. We take the inside line here, effectively cutting them off, and it's going to be all about getting on the throttle hard coming out of the turn.
You're going to need to pull the brakes. They're starting to overheat, so just try and take some of the heat out of it in some of the very slow corners. You're okay in the high-speed stuff, it's just the tight corners.
And once again, just like on Hockenheim there, as some of you may or may not remember, we are starting to have brake issues again, as we seem to be putting too much strain on them right now. But it's not going to matter much at this point. This is the final lap of the race. We are going to be rounding off the podium here at Zhuhai, and I did not expect this in a million years when I saw the weather this morning. Very, very happy with this one. I really enjoyed this race. So anyway, Anthony Lowe taking the win here right ahead of LNF. We round off the podium there in 3rd, and wouldn't you know it, our teammate Fabio there actually managed to scrape home 1 additional point there for the Auto Rebel team there. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching here today. I had a ton of fun. I hope you did too. And if you did enjoy this, please don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to this channel for more Project Cars action in the future. And I'll be seeing you soon enough. Bye-bye.